should be live right now, my brother. We
Okay.
should be live right now.
All right.
Let me see what's going on over here. Shout out to everybody coming into the room. I'm with my brother Billy Carson. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
Hey, good to be back, man.
Indeed, indeed. Let me let the people come in the room.
Yeah, definitely.
In the meantime, let me get to a few ads I want to show y'all that's got some great products, these businesses, and I want y'all to check them out. All right, family. Where I'm at. Okay. All right, to start out with, my brother Riverside Tai Chi has the glucose support formula pills. If you need some help in terms of glucose support, make sure you contact this website right here. All right. In terms of numerology, my brother King Simon, he has a new book coming out too, family. So stay tuned for that. I think it's supposed to come out in about a week or two. But he'll be able to show soon with him and Lloyd Strayhorn. But in terms of numerology, as I always say, shout out to Psych L for the donation, Cash App. I just seen it. But yeah, King Simon is one of the best when it comes to numerology. So contact that number, family. All right, mixerhealth.com. They've been doing their thing all month long. They got the raw sea moss from St. Lucia. They got sea moss powder, herbal supplements, teas, hair growth products, feminine products. I mean, they're doing their thing. And the best thing is that they don't have the additives and preservatives that you get when you buy products from, a lot of the stores out here in the streets. So make sure you go to mixerhealth.com. As always, Magic Money, out of print ebook that's available with all my Cash App, $Black Magic 363. If you want spiritual techniques to attract money at a faster pace than what you're used to attracting money at, this is the book you got to get. The fee is $10. Like I said, just hit the Cash App, $Black Magic 363. And Copper Child Mike L got the high frequency conscious clothing on deck. He got the crystals. If you like the hats that you've seen everybody wear, red, blue, Sarnetta, Umar Johnson, Polite, everybody got these crowns that he calls them. Make sure you go to his website or hit him up on Instagram at iSkateNY. Last but not least, this is what today's show is all about. I mean, this show, this is the first workshop I've done that's been, since I mentioned it, so many people email me like, yo, when you're gonna do that? When you're gonna do that? It's highly anticipated. It's requested a lot, and the people were excited when me and this brother Billy Carson first announced it. We finally put it together, and it's available now on Eventbrite, and that information is in the description bar. But we're going to be talking and building on that today. The actual workshop is on December 5th for those who are interested. All right. And with that being said, brother Billy Carson, man, welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
All right. Good to be back, man.
So where you at, man? You filming this documentary, man? Where you at?
I'm in Los Angeles right now. I just landed here a couple hours ago. And I'm going to get Jimmy Church over here. He was on the series on Netflix called Hangar One. He was on there as well. So he has his own huge radio show. I think he's got about a little over 1 million listeners, and he's on iHeartRadio and everything else. But he's really an expert in a lot of the UFO phenomenon. So I want to get him on the Black Knight Satellite documentary. So I'm filming him out here tomorrow. I'll be working with him tomorrow. This thing is coming together, man. This Black Knight Satellite documentary is going to be phenomenal. I have a NASA image analyst, a former astronaut, an ABC news anchor. I have Jimmy Church, who's an expert on UFO phenomena. I have a lot of credible people. I have astrophysicists. I have astronomers. I have quantum physicists. I have also expert anomaly image analyst experts. So we're really going to go deep into this. And I also have experts on ancient texts, cuneiform, Babylonian, Sanskrit. So it's going to be a phenomenal documentary with a lot of credibility, which is a real important thing. That's why I'm taking my time and getting the right people involved. So the credibility factor is very high. And I think it's going to be amazing. And of course, you, Brother Rich, you're going to be in the documentary as well.
Now, I definitely look forward to that. And I'm adding a contribution to that documentary. So, yeah, I definitely look forward to that, my brother. A lot of things that people look forward to hearing from you. And like I said, remote viewing, since we mentioned it, that's one of the things that people have been anxious for
Yeah.
you to talk about. Before we get started, my brother, why are you qualified? What makes you qualified to talk about remote viewing? What is your experience exactly telling people with remote viewing?
I heard about remote viewing. Probably now it's 2020, so probably 2011, I think it was. And I heard about it because I saw a video online that was done by Major Ed Dames, and so I started researching this guy. Found out he was former in the CIA, former Project Stargate, which you can look up online. It's even on Wikipedia. Not that I trust Wikipedia, but when they put something out there as radical as this, it's got to be too verifiable that they can't run from it. There's even been a couple of movies made about him. And when I looked into it, I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. So I went on to a website and I took his website and I took a random, like a little sample test to see what your aptitude for this remote viewing was. And I scored very high on it right away. And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. So I really literally contacted him, and he owns the Matrix Intelligence Agency now, since he's left the CIA. And so now what he does is he does remote viewing. Well, he hasn't done them in a while now. He retired from doing remote viewing classes. But when at that time, this is a few years ago, he was doing them a lot. So I just told him I wanted to basically, I wanted him to mentor me. And I was taught directly by Major Ed Dames, the former head of the CIA remote viewing team. And so his job was to actually bring in new recruits and teach them this technique. And they would actually grab major military intel from around the world to use in, the United States military to have an advantage over potential enemies, terrorists, and groups and everything else. And so that's who taught me directly. So I was taught by the best of the best. The sound's down. I don't know what happened.
My fault. I had to mute on by accident. Yeah. So yeah, you was taught directly by one of the best, man. That's how it's supposed to be done, brother.
That's right. I mean, you can't get no higher than him. I mean, Ingo Swann would have been higher than him. Unfortunately, Ingo Swann passed away. To give you an idea of how amazing Ingo Swann detected through remote viewing that there were rings around Neptune, which nobody had even seen, nobody even knew of at the time that he said it. They were like, what are you, crazy? We're looking at there through our telescopes. We're looking through our satellites. Until Hubble focused on it the right way, then Hubble was able to see the faint rings. But Ingo Swann did through remote viewing years and years before, and brought it out, and everybody laughed at him and told him he was crazy. But this guy's one of the top remote for. At that time, he was one of the top in the world. He actually trained Major Ed Dames, so that's who his teacher was. So the lineage that I'm coming through of the training techniques on how to do this is the highest you can get. There is no higher, So I'm really blessed and happy that I took the time to train myself in these techniques and to learn it at the level that I learned it, because now I can impart that wisdom on to other people. And it really comes in handy. People say, well, what can you use this for,
So, man, a lot.
A lot. Because mind is outside of space and time. And so when you're sending your mind out, it's a lot different than astral travel. Astral travel is when you're sending out your whole spirit, your whole light body leaves out of your avatar. Some people have a problem with that because they feel that something else can come and actually inhabit the avatar body and they won't be able to get back in. And in some cases now, based off what I know with physics and spirituality, I believe that could possibly happen. I'm not saying it happens, but I'm saying it possibly could happen. I don't want to scare anybody away from trying to astral travel, but it's something that could be a reality. With remote viewing, you're sending your mind out, but your light body is still inside of your avatar, and you're attached to your mind through like a tether. It's like a tether that's still connected to your spirit body. So it's really, to me, a lot safer, and you're more in control of your movements and how you come out of it, because you're not going to be completely knocked out or sleeping, so to speak. You're going to be semi-awake in a semi-daydream state. So you have to write down notes and take notes on your target as you're getting the information. So you're never going to be completely out of it to where you lose control of your body. That's why I liked remote viewing. And you can use it for so many practical uses. For example, this was years ago now. At the time, I was engaged, and she lost her ring. She thought that she left it at this bar. Now, she didn't tell me the bar that she went to. She just told me she was at a bar with her friends, and she took it off, and she thinks she put it on the sink to wash her hands, and then, and left it on the sink. So she was panicking. I literally went into remote viewing and used that technique, and I drew the bar from the top looking down, and it was open air bar with a courtyard. It blew her completely away. Okay, first of all, because she had no idea that I was going to be able to draw it to that detail. And then through the remote viewing, I detected that the ring was not left at the bar. So I set the bar as my first target. So then I went a little bit deeper. So then I just set the ring only as the target. And when I set the ring as a target, I started getting my information, sketching out my remote viewing, what I was seeing, and the smells, the taste, and everything else. Because you get the taste, you get the smell, you get all these things. I ended up drawing this box with these other rectangles built into it, with this giant rectangle across the top. And I'm going, what could this be? What is this? And I'm like, this looks like a dresser. Walked in my room, it was my dresser in the master bedroom.
Wow.
Started searching all around it, looked behind it, pulled it out. The ring was on the floor in the back corner, right underneath the master bedroom dresser. Okay. So that's just one case of many that I've been able to use it for. Just so many different things. It's really an amazing tool, especially, if you're getting into different things like lottery and Major Ed Dames had won quite a few of those picks, lottery picks and stuff. He donates a lot of the money. And even in his spare time, he looks for the Amber Alert kids and stuff like that, for fun. So it really has a lot of benefits to it. I can only let your mind wander as to what you can do to it. I don't want to lead anybody into it, but it really, it's a tool, man. It's a tool. And I credit it to a lot of the things I've been able to achieve in my life. Being able to almost literally see what's coming in advance or understand what's happening somewhere else at the same time that I'm doing something, gathering intel, gathering information, always staying one step ahead. It's just a great tool to have. It's something that you can really utilize in your life on a day-to-day basis.
I can imagine you use it a lot for business, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Nonstop. I literally use that for business 24. Since I learned it, I literally use it for business all the time because it comes in hand. It gives me a competitive advantage. It lets me find out things about what's going on in my industry. It lets me gather detailed information on what other people are doing so that I like to copy success. So I just copy what other successful people are doing. Some companies will spend a Fortune 500 company might spend $3 or $4 million to research a marketing campaign to see how it affects the psyche of the people that are going to see the ads. So I let them spend all the money, and then I just literally just utilize all their techniques and tactics to my own benefit. So if it works for what they're trying to do, why wouldn't it work for what I want to do? It's just a matter of, you can use it for light, you can use it for dark. Unfortunately, they're poisoning a lot of people and doing stuff like that, but I'm using it to bring consciousness to the world. But there's just so many things you can use it for to be able to make sure you keep that advantage, make sure you keep your family safe, keep yourself safe, and just understand what's really going on, having that awareness of what's going on and what's happening, or even being aware of things to come. Now, the only thing you can't do is you can't put a specific date and time on future events because time is an illusion. But you can see a string of things that occur up to a major event. And that will give you like your warning signs as to what could be coming down the pipeline ahead of time, so you can be more prepared.
Man, I'm personally, I'm gonna put the link. Did I do this right? Oh, yeah, I just posted the link, family. But I'm personally extremely excited about this workshop. I'm glad to be a part of it. This is going to be like extremely fascinating to somebody such as myself, who understands that our consciousness is non-local, and that let me ask you this before I say what I'm going to say. So is it remote viewing what our soul is doing to observe the dimension, this reality through me and you? Aren't they using to remote view this reality?
That's what's happening already. See, what people don't realize is we are remote viewing right now. And consciousness, which is the universal consciousness, I should say, not global, universal, in effect is remote viewing, as above, so below. And how is it remote viewing? We are tethered directly to the one consciousness that exists. We're like tethered to it through a spiritual light cord, if you want to, so to speak, because we're all part of that one consciousness. And we're out here gathering intel through our sensory perception system: taste, touch, hearing, smell, feel. And then we're transmitting that information back to the source. And that source is pulling in trillions of bits of data every millisecond into itself and analyzing everything in the third dimension through that method. So remote viewing is part of this third dimension. It's something that's in multi-dimension as well. It's something that's actually natural. And it's just that we haven't been taught how to actually access and use it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fascinating. I mean, that phrase, or what do they call those, of the as above, so below? What's that called? The idiom?
Hermetic principles.
Hermetic principle, yeah. I mean, that's true, and it seems like in every sense, bro. In every sense, like everything is as above, so below, as within, so without.
Right.
So yeah, so we're already doing remote viewing. So my other question was going to be, so everybody could do it. Is this something that certain people could do, like play the piano, or is this something pretty much everybody has this gift?
Everybody has this gift. It's just some people will always be a little bit better than others, just like in anything in life. Yeah. But ESP, extrasensory perception, and remote viewing capabilities is part of what we are, part of what the tools are built into this avatar body. Okay. Some people will be naturally more attuned to certain things, more sensitive initially, and some people may have to work at it a little bit harder to catch up to the people that may naturally just have it flow a little bit easier. But everybody has this capability because it's built into the avatar body. It's built into our genome, and it's built in, electronically wired into our consciousness, the way that we're set up. If we didn't have this ability, your body wouldn't be even animated, because the only thing that animates your body is the light source energy from the universal consciousness that actually interacts with your mind and animates this body on a frequency. Without it, you wouldn't even be able to do that. So we are all utilizing it. We just don't know how to tap into it, how to access it. And there's a process of rules that you need to follow. So everybody's going to have a pen and paper, an actual real pen, or if they want, they can type some of the notes. But I recommend when we get to the part where we're actually doing an actual test, an actual target that I'm going to issue and things like that, it works best when you have a pen and a paper so that you can follow me. We have to do something called an idiom. We have to do sketching and things like that. So you're going to need pens and paper, or pencils and paper, wherever you prefer. But this is going to be a very interactive session, and it will be live. It will not be pre-recorded. It will be live, because I'm going to have to give you cues. I'm going to have to issue target numbers and everything else. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, shout out to Brother Perry, the first order we got. I don't know if y'all can see that. The first one we just announced it now, so the orders is coming in. I appreciate, man. This is gonna be so much fun, yo. This is gonna be fun for me personally. This is gonna be fun. I look forward to utilizing this in so many different areas of my life, because I understand that we call it extrasensory, but it's really just natural. We just forgot it, so we call it extrasensory perception. Let me ask you this: at what point in history do you think we lost our ability to do these things?
That's a great question, man. I think this was about 200,000 years ago. And the reason why I go to that date is because Homo sapiens sapien, which is us, this version of Homo sapien hominid, has been around for 200,000 years. That's science fact. Can't get around it, can't get away from it. We know this for a fact now, historically. In that times in, right with the Sumerian cuneiform tablets that talk about the Anunnaki genetically modifying human beings, or the hominid that was here, which was our cousins before we became Homo sapiens sapien, around 200,000 years ago. That's in the Enuma Elish, that's in the Atra Asis, that's, the Code of Hammurabi. I mean, I can go on and on. So if these beings genetically modified the hominid on this planet, which was our cousins, to create the Homo sapiens sapien, they disconnected a lot of stuff in us. I think that our cousins were more advanced spiritually than we are. Not technologically, but spiritually far ahead of us. They had bigger skulls, which means they probably had bigger brains, which most likely means they had larger pineal glands. I also believe that they were more in tune with nature, the Schumann resonant frequency of the earth, and also they probably also had the ability to communicate through ESP without even having to move their mouth or vocally speak. And they were probably just more in tune with nature, just like how animals know when there's danger and things like that. They probably had that sensory perception as well. So I think that, and what brings me to that conclusion, by the way, so people know, is because when you look at history going back into scriptures and ancient texts, you discover that people were living for a very long time, hundreds of years, thousands of years. And in case of the Sumerian kings list, tens of thousands of years in some cases. And then all of a sudden, now you got Homo sapiens sapien, smaller head, smaller brain, smaller pineal gland, and junk DNA, which is just DNA that's been disconnected from the nodes. So our nodes, we've been unplugged. We've been unplugged from this electric system that we're supposed to be plugged into, this grid that we're supposed to be plugged into and tapped into. And we've been unplugged from it to make us more docile, and I hate to use this term, but dumbed down. And they installed a worship gene in us, which has now been proven by genetics that there's an actual gene in the human being, making them prone to worship. They did everything to us. They modified us in a way that we would just be subservient to them and what they wanted us to do. And they took us out of our spiritual excellence that we used to have before, which came with all the spiritual tools, which would have included ESP and remote viewing and everything else.
Wow, man. Interesting. That's a long time ago, 200,000 years ago, man. Wow.
Yeah.
So you think this is how the Dogon knew all this information about what was going on in Sirius constellation? They was using remote viewing, you think?
It's possible, but according to the Dogon verbal handed down history for thousands of years, they originally lived in the land of Kem, which is now called Egypt, obviously. But so this is pre-dynastic era. The Dogons were from Egypt, or the land of Kem. And they were visited by these beings that came from that star, Sirius B. And it was called, they call them the Nomo, Nommo, the Nomos. The Nomos, they said, looked like people, but that had on fish skin. I think it had to do with whatever they were wearing. I don't think they were fish people. I don't think they were real fish that could, they just looked like whatever they were wearing gave these people the best description for the words that they had at that time were fishmen. But these people came to them and spoke with the elders, met with them and spoke with them and told them about our planetary system, our solar system, all the planets, the shapes, the colors, and the sizes. And then also told them the best times of the year for harvest, when certain star alignments occurred and everything else. And also told them where they came from, and told them about the orbit of that trinary star system, Sirius A, B, and C. So the Dogons, I don't think it's more remote viewing that they used. I think it was more direct knowledge that was given to them by the Nomo, which came from Sirius B, which is now a faint white dwarf star in a trinary star system with Sirius A, B, and C about, I think it's about maybe, I don't know if it's 4 light years away from here or whatever, but it's not that far away, to be honest with you. But obviously these beings had the capability of traveling that far distance, so they must have been able to create a wormhole, or they could have what we call a slipstream or a warp drive, where they ride space. Instead of riding through space, they create moving space by shrinking space in front of the vessel and expanding it from the back. You can create a slipstream, and that way you can travel multiples of the speed of light without violating the theory of relativity. So obviously these beings had these capabilities because it would take hundreds of years, sometimes thousands of years, to travel from star to star. It doesn't make any sense. So they had to have this technology, wormhole technology or slipstream warp technology. But that's how the Nomos got the information, I believe.
Once again, family, is going down December 5th, a workshop that I'm extremely excited about. Brought to you by my brother Billy Carson. He's taught by one of the best. What's the guy's name again? I'm gonna look him up tonight. What's his name?
Major Ed Dames.
Okay, Major Ed Dames. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
One of the big movies that was made about him is The Men That Stare at Goats. Is one of the movies.
Okay.
Good movie. And Major Ed Dames, Project Stargate. Look it up. He was the CIA remote viewing instructor, and they would gather intel for the U.S. military through ESP and remote viewing techniques that he taught. And that's the one who directly taught me. Matter of fact, I'll send you a picture of me and him together. You can put it up on some of your pages or whatever, and I'll throw it up myself.
So the people know you ain't front, Billy.
Oh, listen, this is a
You
real
ain't
deal.
front. And like Billy fronting on us, man.
Hey,
You don't know that dude. So yeah. Send me
Yeah.
that picture, brother. Send me that picture.
Man. I seen that picture tonight, so you can throw it up there.
Indeed. No, I'm definitely am. Yeah, so me and the brother Billy Carson, we're gonna connect with y'all every week leading up to this. Like I said, this is just so important. You can pretty much, as somebody asked in the chat, will there be a replay available? Definitely, you're gonna have a lifetime access to this. So once you purchase this, even if you can't make it there live, or if you gotta leave early, or whatever, you'll have lifetime access to it, so you don't have to worry about that at all. This will be live. You'll be allowed to comment. It's gonna be through the Zoom webinar, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're going to be watching this one actually live, and you're going to be allowed to comment, chat with people on the side. It's going to be off the hook, family, but I advise you to get your tickets early. That's what I advise you to do. Definitely get your tickets early. I want to ask you, Billy, is this considered time traveling, remote viewing?
That's a good question. Now, in a way, you can use it for time travel, because the mind, you can send your mind actually into the future to gather information. The only thing is, you don't know, we can't specify the exact date and time, because time is an illusion. It's a construct that we've given this matrix, excuse me, in the third dimension, so that we can know what direction we're going in. So basically, you can go to the future and you can gather information, but depending on the size of the event, it creates these ripples in space-time. And the bigger the event, the easier it is for you to find out what it is. And then you have to find out the little events that lead up to it. And that will give you an idea. So let's say, for example, I'm looking for an economic collapse, right?
Mm.
So I'm going to go and send my mind out looking for an economic collapse. So I can find one. Excuse me. I was chewing on some almonds earlier, then one went down my throat. So I'm looking for economic collapse. And so I set my mind out to look for the next one. And now I find it, but I don't know the exact date in particular. I can't find the exact date, but I find this economic collapse, and I find the cause of this economic collapse. Trying to find the date, it's hard to find the exact date. Sometimes you can get lucky, sometimes it's very difficult. But what I can find are things leading up to it. Other ripples that may not be as big as that ripple, but I can find those other scenarios that are occurring on the way to it. And when those things start happening, I know I'm getting closer to that official economic collapse, if that's the thing that I'm looking for. So, and we're going to go over all this, but it's a lot of techniques to this, and a lot of things that you can put in place to be able to actually find these futuristic events going down, tap into them, and be aware, have foreknowledge of what's to come.
So from what I understand, the CIA and a lot of governmental agencies use remote viewing, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Is there something like have you ever heard a story from your teacher or from anybody? Because if I'm imagining people are using this for espionage or for war tactics or whatever, the same way they have security so you won't break into the White House, is there such thing like some type of etheric security where you're remote viewing and somebody stops you? Like, does that happen where somebody be like, hey, you can't remote view here? Does that type of stuff exist?
Now, that's a great question, actually. I don't know if the military has worked on something like that, put information, because Major Ed Dames, in his own words, out of his own mouth, they would go into offices inside of secured places and gather intel to bring back, to their admirals or whoever they had to answer to. So basically, now with this information being out there and more militaries, even Russia has a program like this now too.
Right.
Is it possible that they now put certain documents or certain information or databases? Everything's more digital now. Are they putting some of this documentation or these digital bits of information in a room that has some type of I don't know, a energetic field around it to keep thoughts from getting in? You know, that's a great question. I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, if I knew that people were able to remote view my data and my content and my information, I would probably work on some type of very sophisticated encryption techniques, or maybe energetic fields. I'd maybe do experiments in a laboratory to see how energetic fields could affect consciousness entering that particular area. So it's a possible thing. I think energetic field would probably be the best thing to use, though.
Does our diet have anything to do with our ability to remote view?
That's another good question. Wow, I was going to go over this in the workshop, but energetic foods help. Eating a lot of energetic foods. So more plant-based raw foods are better, because obviously you're going to have a more energetic, you know, when you're sending out your mind, that's energy. That's taking energy. Now, when you're eating a lot of heavy foods like different types of meats and so forth, a lot of the energy has to go into digestion, and therefore reducing your ability to get all the way out there and send and receive information wirelessly through that tethered connection. It doesn't mean you have to become a vegan to remote view, but what I'm just saying is during the process, like that particular day or leading up to an event that you want to work on, just try to cut back on eating meats and focus more on energetic foods, specifically raw foods, if you could, because you're going to give yourself the best opportunity for success and get the most information out of it. Just in my opinion, based on what I've done.
No, definitely. So you're going to be, on December 5th for this workshop, let me just put the link again. I'm going to be putting the link throughout the show, family. So you're going to be giving out a lot of techniques, huh? Because I mean,
a lot of techniques.
I'm sure the workshop will probably be about 5 hours or something like that.
The workshop's going to be about 5 hours. It'll be, we'll start at 4 p.m. on December the 5th. So be ready, have something, be ready to sit down on something comfortable, be ready to have something to write with, something to press on, or there's a clipboard or a desk. If you're going to invite people over to, make it a family affair, you can, but it's going to be about 5 hours. We're going to spend some time. I'm going to go into the history of remote viewing. I'm going to go into the science of remote viewing. Like I always do, I have to bring the science to you so you can understand why it's working. Because if we just go in and I say, take out your pen and paper, we're going to start doing this and all that. I'm going to give you a target and do this, do that. That's like, again, like I always use this example. We learned our multiplication table because we memorized the answers, but we didn't know how to get to it. We didn't know why 2 times 2, equals 4. We just knew the answer was 4. So we have to learn the process. Why does this times this? Why when I go through this step-by-step process do I get this end result? So we're going to go into the history. We're going to go into the science, the real physics of it, the quantum mechanics and the quantum physics of it. And when we get that understanding in place, then we're going to crank out the pieces of paper and we're going to work on different techniques. And everybody that signs up is going to have to get emailed a packet that I'm going to have sent out to you as well. A couple sheets of information that you'll just download onto your computer. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be a very interactive session. You're going to get a lot out of this, and it's going to be something you can use for the rest of your life.
Indeed. No, it sounds like I said, I'm just excited. It sounds like it could be extremely beneficial. Like I definitely look forward to it's like imagine certain cultures to this day, if we show them some of the cell phones we have, they may think that, that's impossible. They may think it's an impossibility. Right. So we're so dumbed down as a society that we think this is something that's so far-fetched. But like you said, maybe 100, 2,000 years ago, this was common, very common among us.
Very common, man. If you think about it, back then there wasn't a lot of amongst a lot of the African civilizations, there weren't a lot of wars and battling going on. It was more peace and tranquility. Matter of fact, I mean, the land of Chem operated for thousands of years in peace and tranquility with no army, no police force. Why is that? Maybe because they had this ability, and so there was no reason for you to, anything you did, you were going to get caught anyway. Everybody focused on arts and crafts and becoming a better person and esoteric wisdom and spirituality instead of focusing on monetary systems and killing and robbing. And unfortunately, outside countries noticed that we didn't have anything, and they came in and overthrew the land of Chem. It was overthrown 7 times by 7 different races of people because they were so focused on they had their golden age. They were at that mindset of that golden age. So the power of this is incredible because it can literally help when we get back to a golden age. This is what's going to be pretty much like standard. You know what I mean?
Isn't that what this age is about? That we're entering the golden age?
We're the silver. We're trying to get back to the golden. So this is part of the process. This is like, we're like the the beginning stages of helping people understand their spirituality, their connection to the universe, how to operate unconditional love, and how to tap into all these extra gifts that we all have that we may be lying dormant inside of us, that we're like the pioneers, literally getting people back into that point. This is the process that starts every time you go around the cycle. People like me, like you, and the people that are on this live right now, we're part of the process, the pioneers that help bring mankind back to its true fullness and oneness.
Is this something, Billy, that I have to be a good artist? Like, say I remote view this place that has gold all around. Do I have to be a good artist in order to draw what I see, or a different aspect of my being takes over and draws it?
Yeah, you don't have to be a good artist. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've drawn, I'm not a great artist. It's just basic sketching. Some people's are phenomenal, of course, if they're great, have that aptitude for that. I'm a line draw person, so I just do the best sketching that I can. And because it's my sketching and from what my memory was, I know what I'm trying to convey. So it's not a problem at all.
Indeed.
Yeah. Hold on one quick second, Brother Rich. One quick second.
Yeah, family, it's going down December 5th. This is the one that was highly anticipated when we originally made the announcement that it was coming soon. So it is now available, family. So make sure you click on the link. For some reason, the link isn't in the description, so that's why I keep posting it in the chat room. But make sure y'all there for this one, man. December 5th, it is going down. My phone ringing real quick. Yeah, so December 5th, it is going down, family. I want you to give me a second.
I'm also, by the way, while you're telling them, I'm also going to do remember we did the free vacation for everybody in that previous workshop? Right. When I logged into the redemption list, it looked like 310 people redeemed that vacation that I gave away from the previous workshop. So we're going to go ahead and do that again this time as well. So I'm going to go ahead. You have 1 year to use it. I'm going to do another free vacation giveaway. And it'll be a 7 nights vacation package. The website for it has been redone, and the process to register has been made even easier now as well. But 310 people out of the 600 and whatever it was from the last workshop we did actually registered for the vacation package and redeemed it.
Dope. Real quick, what is the difference? Somebody may think this is just another way to say visualizing. We always hear the word visualization is very popular in the in the New Age community. So how is this different from just creative visualization?
Right. Good question. So when you're trying to visualize something, you're trying to utilize enough of your own aptitude and what you can grasp from things, little bits of data and information that you currently have to try to envision what could happen. Or you're trying to manifest something. So you're trying to, in your mind, create the reality of it through your mind. This is totally different because what's going to happen in remote viewing, you get a target. Now, when I give you a target, let's say the target is, I don't know, the target is a car, a specific car, make, model, right? And it's in a parking lot somewhere. Just give an example. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you're looking for. I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to attach a number to that car. And that's going to be a number that I come up with that now in space-time signifies this number means that car. It's a target number. That's what we call it in the military, target number. And I'm going to give a target number to everybody. And that target number, from that number only, because we're all connected, they're going to end up finding that vehicle and the shape, the style, the color, and everything else. So you don't have to be a great artist to do it either. As long as you can roughly outline what a car is. My first target was a air balloon, like the big balloon that goes up. And all I had was a number. And from that number, I drew this giant loop around, and then a square on the bottom, and like a dangly line coming down the bottom. And when the target, then after I submitted it, and then I got the actual target back, it was a hot air balloon with the cord hanging down to the ground, and a man, I guess, trying to anchor it or whatever. So that was my very first remote viewing session. So all I got was literally a number. It was like a 5-digit number. That's all I got. So it's a lot different from visualization. This is like a totally different technique and a totally different system. And we're going to go through a process step by step. There's about 20 different steps to go through, before you can successfully remote view an item, but an object or a target. But we're going to go through it all. But it's definitely totally different from visualization and manifestation techniques. It's totally different.
So it'll definitely be enough time for the people to, by the end of this workshop, they could successfully go and remote view on their own, you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. By the end of this workshop, they'll be able to successfully remote view on their own, and they'll be able to go back and watch the video and learn again, find out where they're making mistakes. Everybody will be email packets of information on what to do and everything else. So they'll be able to reprint over and over again, and they'll be able to utilize it and do it over and over again. Because with practice, you always get better at anything, obviously. So the more you do something, the better you're going to get. The more you're going to remember the techniques, the better you are at everything. And being able to go back on the video over and over is going to be a big help as well.
Yo, the other day you called me, right? So you called me, you text me. You was like, well, what's good or something. And I was, when you had texted me, I was laying on the couch. I remember exactly. I was laying on the couch in the living room. My girl was next to me. My son was in the room playing. And a thought just came in my head that said, damn, I got to hit Billy Carson up to remind him that we got to hurry up and get this workshop thing going on, because we had postponed it one time. The second I had that thought, I would say about 45 seconds later, that's when I got the text. And I told my girl, I was like, yo, this shit is spooky. I just thought of this dude. Like, now he's texting me. So I just jumped up. I was like, yeah, I got to make a phone call. Yeah. I was like, I'm not supposed to call him. Right. Is that related to remote viewing in any way? Because that's a phenomenon that pretty much happens with everybody right now.
Yeah, that definitely is the same thing. So when you put that, so what happens was you thought about me, okay? That generated an electromagnetic wave in your brain. That wave left out of your skull into the ether of space-time, connected to this grid that we're all on, this energetic grid. That information then literally called me, went straight to me, and it popped up in my head. Text Brother Rich right now. And then boom, I text you and we got on the phone. This happens all the time. And it's not magic. It's not any kind of wizardry. It's because we're all connected on this energetic grid. You literally, when that thought went out into space-time, it literally called me on the spiritual level. You'd made a spiritual phone call, and it connected to me instantly and then sparked me, and I acted on it. I had a choice to make. I could have ignored it or I could have acted on it. But my intuition told me to act on it, and I acted on it, and then we got on the phone.
Yeah, this is it right here, Billy. This is it right here, man. Yeah. This is it right here, man. Because this is something that we use that we don't know how to use, but we just know we use it occasionally, and we get signs occasionally that there's more to us than what we are told. So for us to be able to consciously tap into this power that we have naturally, I mean, brother, that opens up a whole new ball game. Right. And like, I'm glad you said a spiritual phone call, because that's another example of the micro macro, as above, so below. Like all of our technology is based on what we could do innately.
Yeah.
Like this is amazing, man.
Everything that we create in this, everything, cell phones and microphones and cameras and all this stuff, all these are just extensions of what the human avatar body already has capabilities of doing. That's all they are. And a lot of parents have this this built-in, it's a little bit stronger in parents, this remote viewing capability. And we're going to talk about this in the workshop. I'm going to show some real world examples. Something happens to your kid, a mother will know about that. A mother will sense right away that something's going on with that kid. How is that happening? It's not magic. That is that spiritual phone call. That's that tether that we have. That's that remote viewing tether. It's ESP. It's coming right to them instantaneously. The thing we're going to do now is we're going to show you how to tap into that. Don't let a disaster happen. Let's go ahead and tap into it whenever you need it, to use it for anything you want to, not just when there's a problem with one of your loved ones.
What's one of the main things we do as a society that prevents us from tapping into that what you just talked about with the mother and the instant ESP? What's one of the main problems we keep making in our society today?
One of the main problems is actually a couple that contribute to this issue where we're not tapping into this intuition the way we should be. This ESP, it's food, poisonous food, number one, fluorides, also a lot of the air pollution in big cities, and of course, then the way that we've been taught since we were born, the programming that we've received, putting us in this box and not letting us come outside the box. As soon as you see a kid that has all these special gifts and is thinking this way and playing this way and doing that, and we sit down, be quiet, don't move, get in line. You know what I'm saying? We box everybody back in again. So we start shutting down those capabilities from an early age. And then when we get older, we poison ourselves so much that we completely, almost disconnect from it. Only in special situations do we get it. Some people are still good with it, but they don't understand. They don't have the intuition to understand and act on it. So they get these sensations, these feelings, these glimpses from the future, but they're not able to discern them. So, and we're going to talk about all of that too. We're going to break it down step by step, and we're going to show you how to discern intuition. We're going to show you how to discern information as it comes in and how to act on it, and why, and when to know why you need to act on something right away. And we're going to really cover a lot of this, man. It's going to be an amazing workshop.
I know it is, brother. I know it is. Somebody asked, is there any danger to remote viewing?
Great question. There's no danger at all. That's why I like it better than astral, travel. In astral travel, there is some potential for danger because you're actually taking your light body out of your avatar body. You're leaving your avatar body empty, and then anything can come into it. I don't want to discourage people from trying to do it. But when I did my second astral travel, my first one wasn't that hard because I didn't really go that far and I snapped back in very quickly. But the second one was so far, I got panicked because I couldn't find a way to get back to my body. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that happened to. So when I found out about remote viewing, I got really excited because I don't have to leave my body. I send my mind out with a tether. So I'm always connected to my body. I'm always in full control. I'm always at the point where I'm not knocked out, because in remote viewing sessions, when you gather information, like when I was looking for that ring, right, I was smelling damp wood. So I'm coming out of it and I'm writing that down. Damp wood. It was a smell. It smells damp wood. I'm going back in again. So you're in and you're out. You're not completely out of it. So we're to the point where, the only way it could be any danger at all is if you're trying to do this while you're driving, have something stupid like that. If you're in a house, in a room, in a safe place, and you're doing it, you're fine. I don't think there's any spiritual damage that can happen to you. I don't think there's anybody that can come in and rob your body or demonic possessions or nothing like that because you haven't left your body. You're just allowing your mind to connect to different realms of space-time because and we're going to go over this as well. The reason why this works is because distance is actually an illusion. There is no distance. I'm here in Florida. Oh, well, no, I'm in California. I'm in California right now, and you're in New York. Mm. So that's, I don't know, 1,200 miles or some crazy number like that in the third dimension. But in the spiritual plane, it's no distance at all. You're right in front of me. It's instantaneous. It's directly. We're not even separated. We're all connected. So when you go into that mind state, when you let your mind travel into that state, you're gathering information, and your body could be right here, and there's no danger whatsoever for anything coming in. So that's why I like it better than astral travel. Astral travel is a fun thing to try and a fun thing to do if you can make it happen. but there are some downsides to it, which is why I stopped. After that second time, I never did it again.
Indeed. I think me and you talked about what exactly happens when you're asleep. What is your spirit doing while you're asleep? Is that considered astral traveling, or what
I
exactly
think
is
that your
going on?
mind, I think it's again when you're sleeping. Now, some people can go into an astral travel during their sleep. It's happened to a couple of people that I talked to, and I believe them. I think that in most cases, though, it's your mind tapping into higher dimension because your brain, your not your brain, but your consciousness is multidimensional. And I think that we tap into higher realms of consciousness in higher dimensions uh, during our REM sleep. I think that's what actually happens. I don't think in most cases, I don't think we actually leave our body, but our mind goes out there and the spirit body still stays inside of us, inside the avatar. So I think it's the mind still traveling and even going into other dimensions, maybe even into other universes, multiverses. It's possible. It's all about frequencies, and gathering information and experiencing different realms, and then coming back. And I think that's why it's always easy for us to wake up every morning, is because in most cases, I don't think the light body leaves. I think it's the mind that goes out.
Wow. Once again, family, December 5th is going down. I'm very much interested in this one, family. The remote viewing and ESP workshop. Things that have been taken from us, things that we have neglected. We have been programmed against our nature of who we are. And it's that time where we're tapping into our potential. And it's up to you if you want to claim it or not, so much information available, so many people here to guide us. And that's what this workshop is all about, family. Let's see what you're talking about in the somebody wants to know, can you get stuck in remote viewing similar to a coma?
No, you can't, because you're not sleeping. You're not knocked out. You're not in a REM sleep. You're actually awake. You're just in a slight daydream state as you're letting your mind gather information, and then you're actually writing it down. So you're actually able to write down information in real time. So you're not going to be going into any kind of coma. You're not going to be in any risk of any mental injury whatsoever.
Somebody wants to know, Stephen Bacon wants to know, have you observed extraterrestrial species while remote viewing?
And actually, not actually living species. How I became so good at doing the anomaly hunting on Mars was because when you download the images from NASA and the European Space Agency and Russia Space Agency, you have to literally take an actual real magnifying glass and you go through the image 1 centimeter at a time, looking for things that appear to be out of place, because blowing it up on the computer creates pixelation. And when you use a regular magnifying glass, good old-fashioned magnifying glass, you don't get the pixelation. So during that process, it takes hours to go through, a 10 by 10 image. So I said, why don't I use remote viewing to find these anomalies? So I started using remote viewing to find the anomalies, and I would find more of these anomalies on Mars faster than almost anybody else. I was able to go right to them. I didn't try to look for any living aliens or beings like that, but I have found, I guess you would say, evidence of ancient civilizations on Mars. That's one of the, and also Saturn. No, I'm sorry, Venus. And the Venus video I have is coming out very soon with the pictures of the anomalies that I got from USGS.gov, from the GIS database, the Global Infrared Survey database. And I'm going to go into that extensively. And that's just an amazing 2 huge cities on Venus that are there right now. And now, as you know, a press release went out, maybe you don't, but 2 weeks ago, they came out with a press release saying that they believe that there's life on Venus, and they're going to send another mission out there to try to detect the life. But they're saying that they believe there's life on Venus right now. That's an official statement from the U.S. government.
Wow. Okay. Somebody wants to know, can you, oh no, that's not. Can you go to the past to see ancestors during remote viewing? Let's say my great grandfather, and I want to go talk to him in remote viewing. Is that possible?
You won't be able to talk to them. No, you can remote view to the past or the future, but locking in a specific date and in time, and the arrow of time is very hard to do. I will tell you that it's very hard to lock in a specific number. That's the only thing that's about it. You can go to the past, you can go to the future, to only things that create big ripples that that affected you in a big way. But to specifically say I'm going to go to my grandfather and I'm going to sit there and talk to him, that's not going to happen.
Indeed. All right.
I just say another quick thing about going backwards. When you go back in time, even with your mind, you're not on your same timeline. This is something I also wanted to talk about on the workshop too. But so I'll just briefly tell you. So when you move back in time, you actually shift frequencies. To go back, you have to shift the frequency. And when you shift the frequency going back, you end up in a different universe. You end up in a multiverse. There's multiple timelines going into the past. This is why there's this paradox called the grandfather paradox. Right. So if you travel back in time and kill your grandfather, how are you able to be born to go back and kill him anyway?
Yeah.
That's because you're on a different timeline. So there's unlimited timelines. And so when you go back in time, you switch frequencies and you go back on a separate line. That's how you're able to kill your grandfather, because you're on a line where it doesn't affect you from the line you came from.
Wow. I see why they call it a paradox then.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, man. Family, this is some interesting stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to find some good questions. Can you touch someone with remote viewing? That's interesting.
No, you can't touch anybody. You're in the spiritual realm. You're operating from a conscious perspective, and you're evaluating from a conscious perspective. So you can't interact physically with anything. You don't have any capability of physically touching or moving things around. That would be telekinesis. That's a whole nother workshop we'll do later on, maybe in 2021. But ESP and remote viewing is more of a spiritual type of observation and utilizing those tools to bring back intel or data. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, I think that's that movie, Telekinesis. Wasn't that movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg and
Ghost? Yeah, did they move anything in Ghost?
I think she moved some objects in Ghost. If y'all can remind me in the chat, but I think Whoopi was moving something in Ghost or something like that. I'm not sure. Got to see that movie again though. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, if you're a physical being alive in the third dimension and you move something, that's telekinesis. So if I'm sitting here and I make my microphone float, that's telekinesis. If I'm out of this realm, in other words, I passed away and now I'm in the spiritual or etherical realm, and I make something move in this dimension, that's an energetic frequency coming from a higher dimension. So the only way for me to make something move would be to impart energy into a frequency into this dimension to make it shake or move or rattle. I wouldn't have complete control over anything, but I can energetically move things around. But telekinesis, when you're physically still alive in the third dimension and then you make something move with your mind, that's telekinesis. And the way that it works is when you focus on an object, you're not focusing on the object thinking, I want to move this pencil. You're focusing on the energetic connection between you and that object. And that's how it works. It's a whole nother process to that, that's a whole future workshop though, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different levels to ESPs, like you said, telekinesis, and there's remote viewing, astral projection. There's just so many different aspects to this spirituality and to who we are and what we're capable of doing, man. This is one aspect that's extremely important, but I want to get this one down before I move on to the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I want to master this one, man. So yeah, we're not going to stay on here too late, family. Tonight was just basically the introduction and the announcement that it's finally here. Y'all been asking me, emailing me, so it's finally here. It's coming December 5th. We'll add things here and there to it. Like my brother Billy just added the vacation package as well to this workshop. And, we'll give you updates. He'll be here every week leading up to the event. But yeah, this is going to be a powerful one, family. I'm extremely excited. I'm gonna have my pen and my pad ready. December 5th is going down. Let me put the link one more time. For some reason, the link isn't in the description. I just post the link once again, family. But anything you want to leave the family with, Billy, before we get out of here?
I just want to say, man, look, I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for being part of the previous workshops and stuff that I've done here with Brother Rich and anything else that I've done. We are going to put this out. I'm putting it up on Forbidden Knowledge and other accounts as well. And, you know, one thing I can tell you, if you go on like the previous videos we've done, look at the comments. I think the last one we did had about 300 comments that people left underneath the video, all positive. People were blown away. They were excited. They were thankful. They're using it in their life. I mean, so many testimonials. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a post out of the testimonials. That's what I'm going to do. I think you're going to find that you're going to get something really incredible out of this. Not only something that you can utilize for yourself, but you can pass down to your children or other people that you may know and love as well. So this is a tool that you can really utilize now, not later. Not, you know, this is something you can utilize now, and it's going to bring a significant benefit to you right away. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, this is what I've been using for a very, very long time. I was fortunate to be able to meet this man, and it's a real thing, guys. So if you want to get an opportunity to get ahead, a jump start, be ahead of everybody else in terms of knowing what's coming and what to do, being able to really tap into your ESP and intuition, you want to register for this workshop.
Can you remote, somebody want to know real quick, can you remote view sounds? Like, can I hear things while remote viewing, or is it just?
You can.
Okay.
You can hear, see, smell, and taste. You just can't touch.
Wow, to be able to use your senses and tap into those sensory, you know, hear, taste, see, touch, to be able to do that without using your senses, shit, that's some powerful stuff, man.
Yeah, it's powerful.
That opens up a whole new, I mean, in the quantum realm, to be able to do that. I mean, your manifestation power will be on the max if you're able to do that, man. You're able to bring things from that realm to this realm at a fast rate if we learn how to do that, man.
The thing about remote viewing, it literally cascades into every other area of your life. So things like, you know, manifesting your destiny, manifesting your reality, manifesting success, and all those other things, it just becomes second nature. It's like a side effect of it. And it's one of those things, man, where once you tap into it, it almost seems like everything just falls at your feet. It's just so it's just the game is just, for me, it's just too easy. You know, everything it just rolls right to me. And it's not bragging or anything like that. It's just like I expect things to happen in a certain way now. But when I embark on a new thing, or I'm trying to tweak something that I'm doing, I'm working within one of my businesses, you know, I just expect these things to occur because, and what's so funny also is, you know, sometimes when people are talking to me, I'm mouthing the words that they're saying on the other end of the phone before, you know, as they're saying them. And I could just tell you, man, this is, you know, I mean, they're going to find out how they're going to see it. They're going to, whoever joins this workshop is going to see how incredible this is, and they're going to find out how powerful they really are. And they're going to see all the benefits coming from this almost instantly.
Amazing, brother. Can't wait. December 5th is going down, family. I just posted a link once again in the chat. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Brother Billy, leave some of your links and websites and everything you got going on so they can show support.
Yeah, definitely. You can follow me on Forbidden Knowledge on Instagram. I am a verified blue check account on Instagram, verified blue check on Facebook, Forbidden Knowledge. Also, my Billy Carson page on Facebook is blue check verified as well. And it was the reason why I'm bringing it up is important because I had about 140 fake pages in the last couple of months pop up with scammers out here. You know, they did blue pill too. They're just out here scamming people. Yeah. So if you see us promoting stuff like this, double check it on the blue check page as well. You'll know that it's a real deal. I'll never send you a DM and ask you for money, just by the way. And also you can check me out on forbiddenknowledge.com. And if you go to the Forbidden Knowledge store, make sure you use coupon code BlackMagic363 and you can get a discount on anything in the Forbidden Knowledge store. Right now I'm having a sale on EMF protection orgone pyramids. So they have orgone and EMF in them. to block the 5G and the 4G frequencies. I put one right next to my bed when I lay down to keep those frequencies away from my head, because I'm in a position where I can't turn my phone off at night like some people can. I have to leave it on. But while I have it on, at least I protect myself from the frequencies. So you can get a discount on those. Just put Black Magic 363 as your coupon code.
Indeed. And with that being said, family, Billy will be back on here next week. Like I said, we're going to keep it going until December 5th. So we'll see you again next week, family. All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.